Hello, and welcome to Have At Us, reviews for your pleasure. We share our honest thoughts, opinions, feelings, often hot takes. I'm Nietzsche.
And I'm Joshua.
And this is bonus episode 6. And this is going to be all about the Jurassic World trilogy. We've covered the other 3 Jurassic Park films, and now we are on to the Jurassic World films. And this has been a ride. There'll probably be spoilers for all 6 of these films, so, be wary. But before we really get into it, we invite you to have at us. Our social media links are in the description. Alright, I need you to tell me, out of these 3, which one is the best film.
The first one.
I'm impressed right now, because that is actually the correct answer. It's the best Jurassic film. It's better than the other 5 films.
The best Jurassic film?
Yeah.
All 6. That's the
all
best
6.
one.
There's not even any competition, right?
That surprises me a little bit.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. I thought there would be some problems with that film for you. Well, I'm not saying that there's not any, but I thought there would be more that would be a bigger hindrance. So that's surprising.
No. Because like I said in the other episode, what I wanted was for there to be an actual park open and for bad things to happen. And I got exactly what I wanted, right? I was given everything I wanted out of that.
It was really funny because you said that, and I was immediately like, oh, well, the next film.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
I mean, there's a lot of problems. I mean, Chris Pratt's acting is either directed bad or he's just bad. But he does much better in 6, so I was really kind of like, I don't know.
Well, to be fair, different directors for the 2 movies. 5 and 6 are the same director, but 4 is a different director than 5 and 6.
Yeah, but in, Fallen Kingdom and Jurassic World, he's equally on the same level for his acting. But then we get to Dominion over here, and it's just better. It's a lot better on his acting. That film is... I have to debate with it still. Is it worse than 3 or not? Because they're both really bad. I was sitting over there in the theater like, when does this end? And I feel like we were like 30 minutes into that film. And I was just over there, kind of like slouched over. I was just like, oh my gosh. What torture is this? It's so bad.
I will say...
So bad.
I think that movie, Dominion, is longer than it needs to be. It's like a 2.5-hour film. It does not need to be that long. There's certainly parts of that could just be cut.
Yeah, like all 2.5 hours of it. Never make it. You just make, Jurassic World. Done. You ended your series on a decent note. I don't know that I can call it good, but decent. You gave yourself a nice uptick from the valley that is 3. And then you're done.
I think you could have ended with Jurassic World, and I think that could have just been a fun revisit to the series, and you call it good, and say, hey, wasn't that cool? And people are like, yeah, that was cool. And then you move on. I think you could have done that. I also understand that movie made a lot of money, $1.6 billion. So I understand that, people are looking at it thinking, hey, let's make a little bit more money. That's how it goes.
How's Dominion doing?
I think as of what I saw today, it was at $4.5 million, but that's pretty decent considering how movies are doing this, past 2 years. I mean, especially like 2021, movies were not doing well. Box office numbers were not good, ever. We all understand that. There's no way this movie was going to do the same box office as the last 2 did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but people should have seen Fallen Kingdom and went, wow, that sucked. Let's not go watch another one of those.
Well, Fallen Kingdom is not a particularly popular movie.
Yeah, it gets worse. It just goes down.
That is a common opinion.
Is it? People think Dominion's not very good.
From what I've seen.
What are people's major problems with this?
It's long, feels a little unnecessary, and from what I've seen from a couple comments, I haven't looked too far into it. I just got home. I saw a couple of things while I was at work on break. But it seems that a large amount of people have a problem with the plague infestation. I'm calling them a plague.
That's fine.
The Locust.
Yeah, I understand. What is their problem?
That it's supposed to be a dinosaur movie, and those aren't dinosaurs. And so it's a weird subplot.
I don't understand how that's the problem with it. I mean, the problem of this movie is that it meanders. It has no idea what it wants to be at any point, and it cops out at the ending. The ending feels so shoehorned and stupid, right? And I was pretty sure that's where we were going pretty quickly. And I was like, this is gonna suck. This is gonna be a bad ending. I'm already hating it. There's only one good thing about this entire film.
What's that?
It is my good friend, Jeff Goldblum.
I thought that might be it.
It was funny. Like, every line and all his interactions, spot on. They were good.
He's a good character. He's a lot of fun. His charisma as an actor, I think, is always on display in these films. He is definitely a good part of the film.
He's the only good part of the film. You can't name me another good thing about this film.
I could name a couple things.
Let's see it.
I think the chase scene when they're in some country that's not America, but not yet Italy. I don't remember what it was. I think the chase scenes in there, I think, are well done. I like that it shows, like with Owen, right? Chris Pratt. It shows that he has some idea of how these dinosaurs would probably interact while he's on the bike, and he's maneuvering in a way that would like cut corners, that's causing them to kind of slip around and miss him and whatnot. I think that's pretty cool, actually. I think that's pretty smart. I think I like the idea of there being this like underground place where all these criminals are that just have this weird, like, instead of chicken fighting, you got these dinosaurs fighting, and I'm like, that's believable. I could see that happening. I think there's some interesting parts with the idea of like how coexistence would have to exist if these dinosaurs were, prevalent. I think you could have done more with that. And I think a lot of people were expecting more of that going into this film, and it's not really a big part of it. So it's a little weird.
You know, it's weird. There's like 15 dinosaurs in total that seem to get loose at the end of Fallen Kingdom, and years later, there's hundreds of them spread across the world.
Yeah, I don't know what the reproduction cycle is, but,
That's what's real queer about it all. I sat there the whole time, just being like, okay. And then our raptor friend Blue over here is just, magically over there and kind of friendly and not, and I don't know. It all seemed really stupid. This Maisie revelation. I guess it's not even really a revelation at that point. It's just a fact because it's revealed in Fallen Kingdom. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't care about any of it. Like, sure, the locusts are kind of weird, but not. Like, they're just super-powered locusts that they used the DNA for. Because the whole point of all these films is that we're irresponsible with genetic modification. Right? That's the core crux of all of them. And dinosaurs just happen to be how this is misused all the time.
Well, that was kind of Michael Crichton's whole thing when he wrote Jurassic Park, so...
I mean, it's fine.
Makes sense.
I don't really care that he wanted to be poignant. I just don't understand how, like, the misuse of genetic things is magically now a problem to people when it's locusts.
It's purely, I think, because people had different expectations of what the film would be. And then they go in, and it's kind of an out-there plot that you probably wouldn't come up with going into it. And you're like, okay, I guess. And then it's an easy thing to attack as a critique.
Yeah, but they don't die very easily, so I don't know why you're attacking them. They magically get to form fire tornadoes.
They do seem pretty resilient.
That was too much. That was way too much.
It was a bit much.
Like, you have this system built in place, you didn't test this glass to make sure it wouldn't weaken under that much heat? Really? You didn't...
Yeah, I thought it was dumb.
You didn't think maybe we should do a little bit of testing. No, we just picked up some recycled glass, and that was way too ridiculous.
I agree. Them escaping in a fire tornado that's now burning down the forest is a little like, okay, I don't understand how you let this happen. Of course, there's going to be a crazy disaster. Okay. It was a little weird. honestly, overall, I think the movie's okay. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's bad. I enjoyed watching it. I'm glad I saw it. I'll probably watch it again at some point.
Really?
Yeah, probably. There'll come a day in a couple years where I'll be like, I'm gonna watch the Jurassic movies, and then I'll watch all 6 of them.
None of these are good enough to watch again. Not a single one of them.
Well, I've seen all of them except for Dominion more than once, so...
I mean, that's your pitiful choice. I don't know why you would torture yourself like that.
It's a good question. Maybe I just enjoy that.
Like, The Lost World isn't the worst film, but it's not good. We've got an episode out on that, but... and 4 is the best, but...
Well, let's talk a little bit more about 4.
Okay, we want to know.
So you liked the kind of mayhem of there being a full park, people getting slaughtered. Honestly, there wasn't... I feel like there should have been more people dying.
It would have been better, but I got a little bit of what I wanted out of that.
Yeah.
So I moved on, and while Chris Pratt's performance is not even passable, whether that's direction or his poor acting skills, I'm not quite sure, and I don't really care. I like the trope that he is making friends with the animals.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a big part of what helps it. He's making friends with the animals.
Okay.
I mean, why we need a child in every one of these films? I just don't get it.
It's a good question.
Like, if you were killing children, maybe? Okay. But you're not.
Yeah, I never feel like the children are gonna die. I never fear for that.
I know, and that's the problem, right? If you had set up, where a child had been killed, and maybe I think, oh, you're gonna kill one of these children. Maybe, but you don't do that. I mean, most of the film is not great. Claire is good in that film. Like, I like the acting, and she seems like a, businesswoman at the top, trying to keep everything in wraps and doing it, and that works.
Okay.
That's about it. There's not much else to praise about this film.
Now, were you bothered by her running in heels?
I was bothered that we called attention to it and then did nothing about it. If we had not called attention to it, would I have probably noticed? Yeah. Would I have cared as much? No.
Interesting. I'm pretty sure she actually did run in heels. Bryce Dallas Howard, the actress. I want to say I saw an interview where she's like, yeah, I definitely have to learn how to run in heels for this. I'm like, that's pretty intense. That's gotta be pretty difficult.
Her feet hurt, I bet, too.
I will say I like the scene. I like the shot of when she opens up, or has the T-Rex cage opened up and she's there with the flare. I think that's a really cool shot. And that's where you really notice, like, oh yeah, you're still in heels. Okay. It's interesting. The thing that I thought would be weird to you, and I feel like it probably is the whole, we're going to recruit the raptors into the military angle.
No, I think that's a natural progression. I feel like that is a useful use of how the military would operate. The military, I feel like, would come in and be like, well,
I fully believe the military would look at anything to see if it would be a useful means of war, right? I believe that, but at the same time I do go, raptors, how is this really gonna work? This seems like a bad idea.
It's a bad idea because that's all these films are about. All 6 of them are about, well, this is a bad idea. Someone generally says it's a bad idea, and then we do it anyway. Nobody learns anything, ever. Which is why, when my good friend Jeff Goldblum is always being like, yeah, because people are stupid and don't want to learn anything. I'm like, yeah, buddy, they don't. That's what these films are about. Not learning that you should be a little more responsible with highly dangerous things.
Historical mistakes? Never heard of them.
Basically, let's open up a park. That went swimmingly last time.
But this time it'll go better.
Absolutely brilliant, yeah.
I do kind of like the CEO, Masrani.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was kind of a funny character.
He's not great, okay? What's good about him? Like, he's kind of some comic relief with his flying, but that could have been anybody.
I'm not saying he's good. I'm saying I thought he was funny, because he was comic relief. That's about the extent. But I thought he served that pretty well. I like the helicopter jokes, personally. I think it's pretty funny, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna save the day, then completely fails. Just completely screws it up. And I thought that was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. I just don't understand how these people don't have enough firepower to just take things out. Like, it's mind-boggling to me that even with non-lethal things, which I assume is just, this tranquilizer, because that's what they go after it with the first time, like, they don't hit this thing. Like, they're basically turned into,
Stormtroopers.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with it.
Yep.
Good old stormtroopers. And I'm like, how are you this bad? Oh my gosh.
It is a little pathetic. You guys really need to step it up.
And then you got like a minigun over there, and you still fail.
You miss.
I didn't understand.
I do think that at some point you go, okay, I thought I trained professionals, not you morons, just failing at every step.
Yeah, it makes a large problem where you're just like, really? You purposefully spun this problem way out of control.
Yeah, it makes sense when there's like a lot of numbers, right? There's only a few people. There's a lot of dinosaurs. Okay, I get that. But this is one big dinosaur. I feel like you should be able to hit it with your automatic rifles, at the very least.
No.
You got a minigun on a helicopter. You are way out of range of this thing. And you just... I get that it's moving, but come on.
Have you actually seen, like, how much damage, like, a minigun from a helicopter can do?
Yeah.
Like, you can level a small village in, like, 30 seconds.
Yeah, they're insane.
There's no excuse for you missing or not killing this thing with a minigun.
Yeah.
There's zero excuse.
You only need one to hit its head. It's penetrating the skull. Come on.
I mean, they gave the actual model of the gun, whether it's real or not. But, like, miniguns can fire an impressive number of rounds per second. That's kind of the point. It was just so unbelievable to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of aspects, especially in the Jurassic World trilogy. I think Jurassic Park has it too, but it's not as egregious. But in Jurassic World trilogy, there's a lot of aspects where it's like, this doesn't really make a lot of sense. It feels a lot more Hollywood. You just accept that this is a different world of reality, I guess. And after a while, it's like, okay, I can accept that for a little bit, but eventually you gotta give me something. Now, I like Jurassic World. I think it's a good movie. I like the characters. I don't necessarily think the acting is amazing, but I'm never bothered by it, to be honest. I'm not bothered by it. Maybe I just like Chris Pratt, and I think he still has like his quippiness. And part of me will always just kind of see him as Andy from Parks and Rec, and I'm like, well, this is just Andy. He's just got a new job.
Except Andy's, like, as a character in the acting on that is far superior, right?
Yeah, I do think he has acting skills, and maybe it is just a bad direction thing. It could be. Maybe it's just not a role for him. Maybe like this more serious tough guy kind of role isn't for him. I don't really know.
He just sounds so flat all the time. He's very consistently in the same boring tone. And so, yeah, you make some fun quips, but when your voice doesn't fluctuate and doesn't sound good, I don't care. But his acting is, like, golden in comparison to both children. Both children are atrocious.
They are pretty bad.
And the smaller one, I'll forgive. You're pretty young.
Yeah.
But the teenager...
That's how I'm like, the younger one, I'm like, okay, you're young. I like you a bit more than your brother. You at least get a couple lines that I think are kind of funny. But your brother, his acting is, I don't know what's going on here. And his character is also just really, like, I don't like you. If you get eaten, this would be better.
I mean, the acting is just so fake. It feels really fake.
He's always staring at the girls.
Yeah, he's got some stalkery problems.
Who does that? Who just openly glares at them?
He's not glaring at him. He's admiring.
Yeah.
Very noticeably.
Yeah. And I do like, Gray, the younger one, coming over and being like, hey, you gotta talk to him kind of thing before. But I agree. The children, did you really need them to be part of this? No, you really didn't. But you gotta have your children. It's important.
Mm-hmm. It's not. It's a bad decision in basically all of these films. I will accept that the children can be there in one.
In the original.
Yeah, but in no other film did there need to be a child. Oh, yeah. I don't have anything else good to say about 4. I could say some more bad things about 4.
Do you like any of the new dinosaurs?
I like that we have allowed Microsoft to name dinosaurs. The Indominus Rex. That's stupid.
It's stupid. I like the idea that it's like a corporate name because you want children to be able to say it. And I'm like, this is stupid, but that is a very believable reason.
I guess. I feel like that's a good example of where, like, the Owen quip just doesn't make it great. She says, because it sounds better than this. Imagine children trying to say that. And, like, and he's like, did you hear yourself say that?
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
And the line in and of itself is funny, but the delivery is so flat.
I like the flatness of the delivery. Like, it's I don't know, I think it works fine.
It's not flat in a straw man fashion, it's flat in a bored fashion, right? That's the difference. He sounds bored, he doesn't sound, like, practical or proud of himself for, like, yeah, let me insult this woman.
No, I don't have a problem with the delivery there.
No, it's bad. I mean, the only person who, succeeds at acting in a good fashion is this Claire woman. I already forgot her name.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Miss Howard. Got it.
Yeah.
That's it. All the rest of them suck. I guess my good friend Jeff Goldblum is present for a very short while, right?
In the second one.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay. You're right, because he's testifying, and that's for the whole,
Yeah.
That's pretty much as good as it gets. I mean...
How do you feel about the big water creature? I don't remember what the hell that thing's called.
It's fine. Like, it's not bad. I just don't understand why we're in, like, SeaWorld over here with the attraction of it. I feel like that's really weird. This thing's really big. Like, it's just massive.
It's a big creature. I'm pretty sure that some of the underwater creatures, right, are like the biggest creatures that we know of to have lived on Earth.
They're massive.
Makes sense. The ocean's pretty big. They can fit it.
I get that it could fit it, but man, that's just so ridiculous, and I'm like, I don't know.
I'd be really scared feeding that thing. I would not want to be this presenter on that exhibit, like, that thing's gonna kill me. I'm very confident.
I mean, the one kid died in the raptor deal.
Yeah. Don't be stupid.
I guess. I don't know. There's not much else Oh, you know what I do need to say about this film?
Let's hear it.
They bring the raptors out to go chase, Indominus over here.
Yeah.
Microsoft dinosaur. That's what I'm going to start calling it. And that goes pretty far south. And then there is the raptors trying to kill someone. And then there's massive explosion by it, right? On it.
Yeah.
It goes away. Okay, so now we should have 3 raptors. Because there were 4. Right?
Right. One dies. There.
Yeah, you're following me. Okay? When we get to the ending sequence, there are 3 raptors fighting the Indominus Rex over here. They all get taken out. And then my friend Blue comes in. There are 4 raptors. We just established that there should only be 3 left.
Blue was one of those 3.
No, because he shows up. After
he was the one.
fact.
No, he's the one who's knocked into the wall and you think is out.
No.
Yes, because Blue's the alpha, right? And there's the 3 of them, and he communicates with Blue, with the 3, and then he regains control, and then does his, snarl at the Indominus. Indominus whacks him, he flies into the wall. He's unconscious, right? Then there's the 2, they're attacking him, they die. T-Rex shows up, and then eventually Blue reappears after having got up from the unconsciousness.
No.
Yep.
Maybe I was just too bored by that point to care which one was which, because they all look kind of the same, especially in dim-lit nonsense.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say I'm right. That's what I'm going to do.
You know,
That's how this works.
if that's how you sleep at night.
I mean, I sleep at night regardless of how right or wrong I am.
Yeah.
But you know, being right all the time is a pretty good feeling.
Yeah.
So, but then, you know, we end with Owen and Claire being in a good couple relationship, and everything's happily ever after, basically.
As we all predicted.
I mean, I like that in Fallen Kingdom we come back and we're like, they paid out this much in damages and blah, blah, blah. Like, it helps establish that those events really were a big deal and costly.
As they would be.
Right.
Yeah.
They would be.
Could you imagine the PR on that?
It's bad.
God.
And we act like Claire is struggling with it all the time after that, and I don't really feel like she is, because her acting goes very far downhill from there. Whether that's direction or, you know, she didn't have to wear heels. I don't know what she was wearing in the other films.
Well, in the last one, I saw that she was wearing some boots.
Okay. Great.
Her acting does...
It gets worse and worse, I'm telling you.
I don't know that I would say it... I do think it's worse, but it just feels different to me. But it also feels like a lot of the acting is a bit different in all these films, to be honest.
No, my man Jeff Goldblum.
He's the most consistent of all the cast members of all 6 movies, by far.
Yeah, because Jeff Goldblum is better. That's the lesson I've learned from watching these 6 films. Jeff Goldblum is an alright guy.
Alright, you know?
That's it. Everybody else sucks.
Okay.
So, and maybe that's the problem of 5, is that everything sucks about it.
Everything sucks about it.
The plot's not interesting. Like, I don't know why anybody believed anything good was coming out of any of this. It seemed really stupid. No one's a good actor. I don't know why this girl is randomly British.
Which one?
Maisie.
Okay.
Or, like, her mother doesn't sound nearly as British. She sounds more like Australian. And so I wasn't really sure if maybe I was just failing the accent department.
I am not good at accents.
And so I was like, I don't know what's happening here. This is just really weird that as a child you randomly have this accent. Your grandfather doesn't have this accent.
Maybe it's just because she's younger and she just doesn't have a great control, and they're like, yeah, just keep it. It'll be cool.
Where did she get it from?
I'm saying, like, the actress herself.
Oh. Then why didn't you just get someone else to do a different accent to follow along with her?
I don't know.
The nanny doesn't have it?
Yeah, like...
Lockwood's,
because they make the comment
friend.
of, like, proper English. And it's like, okay.
Oh, yeah, the Queen's English.
Yeah. Queen's English. Not this, other nonsense.
Yeah, but she doesn't speak...
commoner tongue.
Yeah, but she doesn't speak with the same accent. And
I know. It's weird.
I don't like it.
I thought it was weird, but I was like, okay, whatever. Maybe she watched the movie once and liked the accent. She's like, that's not going to talk. I don't know. It's not that
I don't know
important.
what this girl can do. I don't know. I don't know. And then she's some genetic experiment, which wasn't very interesting.
I think conceptually it's interesting. I don't think it's executed in the movie in a way that make it intriguing, though.
No, she's not really that interesting regardless. I did not remember who this Lockwood kid was at all. Like, I feel like they acted like, you'll remember who this guy is. And I'm like, why would I remember who this is?
Yeah, he's supposed to be the co-founder with John Hammond, and I'm like, is this ever mentioned? I don't know. Maybe he's a completely original character. That's believable, because these aren't books. So, I don't know, but whatever. Maybe it's a little bit of retconning. Pretty common.
I don't know. It was really stupid. Because then I was sitting there like, maybe I was supposed to remember this. And then he's got the, the walking stick of John Hammond. And I'm like, how do you have this?
I'd assume John Hammond left it to him in his will or something.
That's weird. I don't know. I have nothing, good to say about this.
I'll say the thing I dislike the most about Fallen Kingdom is our boy, Franklin.
Franklin is good enough comic relief that I moved on.
I don't know. I just kind of find him annoying after a bit. Like, I get that you're supposed to be the comic relief, and a couple of your lines are alright. And I like that you're gone for, the second half of the movie, for the most part. But man, that's a little brutal at the first part for me. Like, this guy is not my favorite. I don't know what we were doing with him.
I get to laugh at him. That's the joy here.
I see. He would have been a good character to kill off.
Maybe. I don't know. What's the other girl's name?
That's with them?
Yeah.
Zia.
Yeah, I knew it was something simple. I just could not remember that. Zia. Zia is the best part of this film.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like her.
Well, you're wrong.
She served a purpose, but she was not entertaining in any way.
No, she's just a fine typecast. Like, she's just there, and she's kind of got her attitude, and does her thing. It works.
She definitely has an attitude, but that's about all I can say about her. I'm like, I don't know anything else about you. You're a veterinarian for paleontological dinosaurs that should be extinct.
She's a paleo veterinarian. Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know what that is.
It's a real thing.
I'm great. I don't know what that is.
I'm just quoting the lines to you. I'm not. Nobody knows what that is because it's probably not real.
No, it's just
she's caring for the animals like a nice human being.
Great. You're a doctor.
She's a vet.
That's a doctor.
I don't know if a paleo vet gets to be the same. Like, because a vet is a doctorate.
Yeah.
But I don't know if a paleo vet's a doctor.
Yeah, who knows? It's probably all just theoretical science anyway, so.
Not in this world. They're
Not in this
real,
world.
actual actual dinosaurs.
I will say, you might get paid pretty well as a paleo veterinarian. If you can handle going over like, hey, I got this, illegal T-Rex, but it's looking a little hurt. Need you to come help it out. Sounds like a really dangerous job. You might get paid pretty well.
Maybe. But she seems a little too uppity to play the black market game.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to defend that she's a great part of this film or even a good part of this film, but she's the best part of the film.
I think the best part is still Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas over there. I think they're the two characters that carry the trilogy, really, to me.
That's a lie. No. Miss Howard's acting is not great in Fallen Kingdom, and Chris Pratt's the same as it was in 4. It's bad.
Like I said, I'm not bothered by it. I think it's a bit different, but it's fine. I'm not going into the movies expecting it to be this amazing performance, and I think they give a performance that's amusing, and that's really all I'm looking for. I get some joy out of it. I get some laughs. I like the dinosaurs. I'm not really complaining too much. Fallen Kingdom is a movie where I feel like I should dislike it, but when I watch it, I'm like, this is fine. I like the raptor at the end, the new one. That thing's, I think, a cool design. I don't know how these creatures are so intelligent. It's a little unbelievable still, but it is, whatever. I think they're cool. They pay homage to the first film pretty frequently. Like, oh look, it's in a hallway, and then you get into this little cupboard, and then you have to struggle to pull down the gate in front of you.
The dummy waiter gate?
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, that's a clear reference. Like, shot for shot. But whatever, that's fine. It's cool.
It's not, though. It wasn't cool in 1. It's not cool in that film.
It's definitely cool in 1. What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh. You name me something that's funny in Fallen Kingdom.
The best line in that film
Mm-hmm.
is when Chris Pratt tells Bryce Dallas Howard, remember, if I die, you brought me here.
I will give you... I will still say the delivery on that is not good. But I knew it was coming. I knew he wasn't going to say something positive. And I liked that. I will give you, that was pretty good.
That's a good line. What a thing to say.
I just feel like that's something that I would say. And I was like, yeah, that's fair.
Mm.
But I probably wouldn't have been there.
No, you wouldn't. Because you don't care about dinosaurs. You'd be like, oh, dinosaurs, so cool, whatever. There'd be real dinosaurs in the world. And you'd be like, I don't need to go see them. I've seen Jurassic Park.
I mean, would it be cool to see dinosaurs?
Yeah, of course.
Sure. Do I need to pay exorbitant amounts of money or put some real effort into it? No.
It would cost a lot of money to go to this island. I feel like that'd be like a $10,000 trip.
It wouldn't be good. And it'd just be like, oh, cool. Great. And it'd be cool to, like, be friends with the dinosaurs. But I still don't think that I trust that dinosaurs being real again is something where I should go make friends with them.
Would you accept a job at Jurassic World? They're like,
No.
Nietzsche, we need you to come and
What do
help
they need
us.
me for?
The help at the petting zoo.
At the petting zoo.
Yeah, you can play with the small dinosaurs. You don't
I feel like
accept
I'm
that?
watching other people play with small dinosaurs.
Okay, well, they gotta get help in the meantime between visits, right? Or, at night. I don't know.
When I should be sleeping.
You don't get to sleep.
Mm-hmm. This is becoming less of a good prospect as the time goes on here.
I mean, you get free lodging, I assume. You have to live on the island. So you probably get, free food.
Mm-hmm.
You get a roof over your head.
I have a roof over my head right now.
The biggest problem is that you have to accept that you could die at any moment.
I'm not necessarily opposed to dying at any moment. I'm opposed to the risk that I purposefully put myself in for no good reason.
I mean, it's better than the one in charge of the T-Rex or something, right? Like, who wants that job? That seems way more dangerous.
Is it, though? I don't know.
You could be the raptor, wrangler. Like, no, I don't need that.
Nah, Chris Pratt's got that covered.
Yeah, he's just like, Chris Pratt, you can have fun with that one.
Mm-hmm. And his poor acting in that film.
But no, I think Fallen Kingdom, I get why people don't like it. It's easy to understand, but honestly, I think it's fine. It's a little weird. It's a little silly. But I do appreciate that 5 and 6, in particular, are pretty distinct films in the series as a whole. I really think when it comes to the 6 films, you got 1 and 2. They seem like a fair continuation of each other. I like that. 3 feels like a complete filler arc. It doesn't really feel relevant to anything ever, except for, making Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler just not be together, which they tried to rectify here. I'll tell you, as soon as he moved the picture that he had on his fridge or whatever it was, I was like, all right, well, I know where this is going. Great. And it was very predictable, but whatever. Anyway, 3, filler arc. 4 feels like, okay, we're trying to do this modern technology. You're getting really arrogant. Believable enough. And then 5 and 6 are distinct, at least. I like that they're not just a retread.
I don't know that I really think that that's true. I just feel like Jurassic World is Jurassic Park, but better. And then I just go 5 is kind of similar in a lot of ways to The Lost World. And then we go to, Dominion over here, which was just stupid. The whole way. It is saved solely on the fact that Jeff Goldblum is funny. That he's not really breaking the fourth wall, but it feels a little bit like...
There's a couple times.
Where it's just like he's just speaking for the audience, basically.
Yeah.
A little bit. And that works.
I see what you're saying there.
One thing works in that film. I don't actually hate my pilot woman. What was her name?
Kayla.
Yeah. I feel like she embodied the role and it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't, good enough for me to be like, oh, wow, that's exceptional to praise. It's like, no, you're not a detraction. I don't less of this film because of you. But I definitely don't think better of this film because of you.
I think she was alright. I think she filled a decent role. I think she worked well with the cast. Really, most of her interactions are with Chris Pratt and Dallas Howard. So, with them, I think she works pretty well. I kind of I was like, oh, you're an American. And it's like, that wasn't an invitation and stuff. I think that's pretty funny.
It works.
Yeah, I think she was fine. I didn't really have a problem with the new characters in the film. The antagonist, he was pretty boring. And I wasn't really sure what the direction was supposed to be with him.
Well, it'd be nice if there was consistent acting. And I don't think that you can justify this he was putting on different faces at different times. No, because even in, the same situation, his acting feels radically different sometimes. And so it's not good. You either suck as an actor or the direction was bad, but it seemed like he more sucked as an actor. I don't know who this kid is. What's this guy's name?
Campbell Scott.
Campbell Scott sucks.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen him in anything else. I don't recognize the name. When I hear Scott, I think of Michael Scott. And this is not Michael Scott.
I don't want to think about how bad things would go if Michael Scott was running a Jurassic Park.
That would be a pretty funny TV show. That would be a great episode of The Office. Because it would go really, really bad.
I mean, I feel like that could have been a funny sketch in The Office. It's like an exotic animal or something that they have to take care of for like 2 hours or something before, special services can come pick it up or something. Oh my God. And then it gets loose or something. And anyway, The Office is so far removed from what we are actually talking about. People suck in this film, for the most part. I did not really think that, whoever played Ellie and Alan.
Laura Dern and Sam Neill.
Yeah, I was not a fan of them. Like, I think it was good to call them back and kind of round everything up. But man, once I saw that they were in the film, I was like, great, you're gonna fix the major complaint that shouldn't have happened anyway. So don't fix it, just leave it where it's at. I don't care, but you're gonna do it, and I'm gonna have to suffer through a bunch of weird awkwardness with these kids. And that's exactly what I had to do. And I did not like it.
You could see it coming. And it was like, I know what you're doing. Honestly, I was kind of thinking about it. And I'm like, if you took out the locusts, the plague, and you took out the trio of the original cast, and you just had this be a story about Macy getting kidnapped and whatnot, I don't know that the film would have had to even change that much. And you could have shortened this movie by a lot of time.
Dr. Wu has to die then.
That's fine.
I'm not saying that he should have lived, but his only reason for living is to help with that.
Now, you could have killed him off in Fallen Kingdom. But alright, he's finally dead. And then maybe he leaves some notes about this Macy person. Biosyn figures this out. They won her. There's your film. I don't feel like their plotline in the Locust stuff really would, like, it felt like a way to get them involved, and it's like, I don't know that this was necessary. Now, I'm not necessarily bothered by it, because I do get to see Jeff Goldblum come in, and that's the good thing about it. And I think Laura Dern and Sam Neill, it's cool seeing them. I don't feel like their acting feels consistent with their previous appearances, but they're also a lot older, and maybe that's part of it. I don't know. Speaking of accents, though, Sam Neill, did you catch that he's not an American?
Not by the acting. I do know that as a fact, so.
Okay. Because apparently, when Chris Pratt got on set with Sam Neill, he didn't know that he wasn't American, and he's a New Zealander, which has a pretty heavy accent. And it was like, oh, I never knew that. I thought that was kind of funny.
I mean, that's fine that he has good enough control over his accent to make it work. But he's not like a grand actor in any of these films.
I disagree with that, but either way, I don't think it's as good in this film, to be fair, as like his original appearance. Or even maybe 3, but 3 feels very weird anyway, so whatever. Again, 3 I really feel like it's just a filler arc. Like, okay, I guess this exists. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I was saying, like, the plot could have been shrunk down quite a bit in Dominion. And I think it would have been a better movie for it. But that's not what we got. I think it's okay. I think it's... do I think it's worse or better than Fallen Kingdom? I don't really know, to be honest. I think it's better than 3. I'd say it's pretty close to Fallen Kingdom in my books, really.
See, here's the deal. I suffer for less time with 3, and I'm feeling like that's winning out. I feel like Dominion is just firmly at the bottom after I've thought about that.
That's honestly, the reasoning isn't terrible. Like, I get that.
That's the deal here. I don't know. I mean, if I'm going all 6 films by ranking, we definitely are going Dominion. 3. See, then here I struggle again. Why? I guess we do Fallen Kingdom. Right. And 3rd here. And then we'll go Jurassic Park. Because it's not that much better, but it's marginally better. And then we would go The Lost World and Jurassic World. That's how we'd have to play that.
To be clear, he's starting from the bottom. If anybody was confused.
I had already just stated that we started with what the worst ones were.
I felt confused when you started, so I just figured if I felt confused for a second, other people might.
I communicate with perfect clarity at all times.
Yeah. Maybe in a mirror. If I was ranking them, I'm going to start from the top, just to be, contradictory.
I was about to say, where are you starting from? Just to be a jerk about it.
I would probably go 1, 2, 4. Then you can put either order for 5 and 6 up for Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, whatever. And then 3 at the bottom.
How wrong you are.
But I don't hate any of these films, so...
Are you sure we watched the same films?
No, I'm not positive.
Maybe you need to go watch the films I watched.
That could...
I'm not wasting any more time on Jurassic anything.
No, you're not going to go read the books, and then you're going to, buy some memorabilia.
I feel like the books might be good, but the sad reality is that these movies are pretty bad to me, and that now I don't really feel like it's going to be that interesting. And again, we have to return to the fact that I just don't think dinosaurs are that interesting.
Yeah. You know what the problem is? You didn't play Dino Crisis when you were young. This is the whole problem with your life.
My entire life.
Yeah. It's pretty much the whole problem.
Well, is Dino Crisis for free somewhere?
No. I have it on the PS3 from a digital collection, so you can play it.
See, here's the deal. Even though that is technically a version of free, I'm still never playing this. You wanna know why?
Because you'd hate it. It has tank controls. That'd be pretty rough.
It's because dinosaurs suck. They're not that interesting. They're more interesting from a worldview discussion, as I've stated in the Jurassic Park episode.
Well, we all know dinosaurs aren't real, so they never were real. They're fake. They're an implant from God. You know the spiel.
Some people know that spiel. Not everybody knows that spiel. Some people are floored right now that you have just said such nonsense, and some people believe that.
That's one hell of a trick. Be like, you know what? I'm going to create hundreds and probably thousands of species, or what looks to be different species from bones, and going to bury those into the ground. And then when people find them, it's a test. That's what this is. The ultimate test. It's like, this seems really convoluted. I don't really understand.
It's not really like an ultimate test. It is supposed to be a test of like, people are going to use this to say that the world is older than what we are going with by placing dates on all of, these things in the Bible, which a lot of people will agree that really early things, your dates are pretty shaky. But then, the people over here who want to believe that dinosaurs are implanted want to believe that these are firm dates, and so they have to do something with dinosaurs. And that's what they've chosen to do with it, is that now it's a test of faith. Because that's easier to believe that God is in some way a deceptive being than, like, maybe there was just a large period of time that we don't have exact dates for. Maybe. Just maybe. I'm not claiming that we have to agree with, the flawed dating methods that we have, but I also don't think that we need to sit here and be like, God is deceptive.
What's the term that we use for like looking at bones and stuff and dating them? I don't remember.
What do you mean the term? You can date things in a lot of ways. I feel like you're maybe thinking of carbon dating.
That's it, carbon, yeah.
Yeah, which is a half-life dating formula.
Yeah. The thing that I actually think is pretty interesting about dinosaurs is how, these, the Cretaceous and the Jurassic period and whatnot, these are very long periods of time that are separated pretty far. I don't remember the exact order of all these things. There's quite a few. But it's like, if you really look at dinosaurs, right, we live closer to some dinosaurs in time than some dinosaurs live to other dinosaurs. And it's like, that's a pretty crazy thought.
I mean, that is ruined by my inability to fully trust how the dating system works, but,
Right, I mean, I'm just saying, that's the prevalent idea, right? And it's like, that does sound pretty crazy.
I guess,
whether it's accurate or not, I don't know. Whatever. But, these things are, it was 65 million years ago. I was like, that is a long time.
It's a long time.
Like, can you even imagine what the world's going to be like in 1 million years from now? Nuclear fallout, maybe. Who knows? But
I feel like nuclear fallout would happen before that.
Probably.
The world's probably recovered by that point if the world is still around.
Well, that's the thing. It's like even within like 1,000 years, you could have like some pretty big resets in life, it feels like, and still get somewhere. 1 million years is a long time, and then it'd be like 65 million years. It's like, that's an incredibly long time.
It is. But now that we have wandered into all the territory over here, I suppose we should find a way back to Jurassic World.
Now, I feel like in Jurassic World, there wasn't enough people dying.
Well,
Jurassic World Dominion, I should say.
Dominion is really safe. Fallen Kingdom is also really safe.
It is. I mean, we kill some people at the end, and we don't kill a lot of people at the beginning, I guess. It's mostly at the end. But it's better than Dominion. I'm like, how many people did we see die in this film? Like 3 or 4?
I don't know.
Not
I mean,
many.
you see, the Lewis kid or whatever, the CEO kid dies at the end.
He does die.
And,
You get like the trapper guy. He dies.
the trapper guy.
Yeah, he like kidnaps the girl. He gets eaten when Owen is fighting him.
Oh, yeah, okay. You're right.
Yeah, he dies.
Also, I'm on a tangent right now. What happened with, I don't know what her name was. The, Incredible Girl is what I thought of her as, because she looked like a real-life version of the woman in The Incredibles that's, like, the secretary girl or whatever on the island. She got the white hair. In this film, she is the,
I know who we're talking about.
Oh, okay, you got it now?
Yep.
You're looking at me like you had no idea.
I don't know who we're talking about in The Incredibles, but I know who we're talking about in this film.
We're gonna pull it up right now. I want you to see that I am right.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, looks exactly like this woman, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty close. I forget this person existed in this film, but all right, you remember more about Incredibles than I do.
I don't know what it was. I saw her and immediately it was just very like a visual thing where I was like, "Yep, that's it."
Okay, what happened to her? She got arrested.
Did she get arrested though? If that happened, it happened off screen.
Yeah, definitely off screen. But that's the implication, right? She had a gun on her. She sixed the raptor. It's the last thing you see on her.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how she would have got away, so I'm just gonna say she was arrested, and that's the end of that. She's kind of a pointless character.
I really felt like she didn't feel as menacing when she was fighting Claire as the aura she had before that. Like, she seemed like she was a pretty skilled person. And then this, I don't know what we want to really call Claire, businesswoman turned country bumpkin, whatever. Like, it doesn't seem like she has grand fighting skills.
They were living in what? Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada. What a crap place to live.
Do we call people who live in Nevada country bumpkins?
She was way out in the mountains.
Yeah.
That's my deal. It's not...
Yeah,
I mean, if she was living in Montana, everybody in Montana is a country bumpkin.
That's the thing, you say country bumpkin and I think Montana, the Dakotas, Iowa. I don't know.
And I feel like if you don't live in a heavily populated area, or at least a decently populated area in Nevada, you're probably kind of one of these country bumpkin people.
I think of Nevada as a desert. That's really my problem.
They're in the mountains.
Yeah, I get that. I understand. But it's like when you say Oregon. A lot of people think, oh, trees. And it's like, yeah. But a lot of Oregon is also desert in the southeast.
I mean, east, southeast,
Yeah.
south.
Yeah. It's like it's really the west coast. And like 100 miles inland, that's really green. After that, you get like Bend, I guess. But
Yeah, and I would call those people country bumpkins who live out there.
in Bend?
No. In all the other sad places, though.
Okay, well.
So, that's the deal. Regardless, I don't actually... What's this woman's actual name?
I was going to write it down, but they didn't really have her listed as anything significant, and I couldn't decipher which one she was. I'm like, you're not important.
Wow. Okay, well, Mirage Woman.
Yeah.
She gets the Incredibles name now. feels like she should have been able to just, like, kill Claire with no issue. And clearly I didn't think she was going to kill Claire.
Yeah.
But, man, I don't know why you had this scene with a woman who seemed like she could just, kill someone easily.
I agree that she comes off different than her actions end up depicting. But whatever, I guess. I kind of like that Claire always uses the, like, electrical prod all the time. Worked out pretty well for her, to be honest.
Guess. I mean, the scene in 6, Dominion over here, where they're like, it's her and Ellie just breaking locusts up and...
Yeah.
Like, the scene before is funny with Jeff Goldblum. That might be the best thing in that film, where he's like, "What? It's right there. Just run down the hallway. What is so difficult about this? Time is kind of the essence. Like, let's get going." And he's just ragging them. And they finally get there. And he's like, "All right, here's the button. It's 4th from the bottom." And
3
like,
from the top.
Is it 3 from the top? He's like, the same thing. Just hit the button. It's right. I can't be any clearer. I don't know what to tell you. Just hit the button. It's marked with, he's looking at Russell over there. E1. Like, you got it now or something? And then they're like, okay.
That was pretty funny.
Like, that was, I thought that was really, like, the whole scene.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And then they, start beating up locusts, and that scene is severely less funny.
It was a little weird. But again, the locusts, like, why didn't you just have it so that the fire tornado just kills them? Even if you want this stupid fire tornado, that happens. Just have the locusts die at that point. Why did they have to be relevant again until the very end? Just kind of a dumb decision.
I was so confused because I thought that the locusts were dead in the hallway. Because a lot of them were upside down.
Yeah.
And so I thought, you are just, like, I have a phobia of these locusts because they're kind of big and creepy.
Understandable.
And it's fair, and so you're trying to walk and not, like, get bug guts all over or, like, weirdness because that's gross. Okay, that's what I thought was happening, and then they were alive, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it makes far less sense. It's like, these guys are pretty impervious to the fire, I guess. I don't know, are locusts supposed to be, are they supposed to be like roaches where they can kind of just take a beating? I don't know.
Locusts can live through a lot. That's kind of what makes them a menace.
Okay.
They breed pretty quickly, I think.
I would imagine so. Those swarms can get pretty massive. They're a real threat.
They are a real threat.
But anyway, originally my whole point, in case we missed it, was that not enough people died.
Look, we tangented just a little bit.
It's all right.
The last few minutes have not been very on point. But now we're back on point.
Yeah.
People should die. That's the relevant point we need to take away from this. More people need to die.
People need to die. Like, I like that it shows it's been 4 years, and then there's an average death toll due to dinosaur-related incidents in the news.
Yeah, it's like 33 people a year, though.
Yeah, and I'm like, I like that there is a fact, but I'm like, is that really it? And I'm like, a lot of these dinosaurs that were released were herbivores, and probably wouldn't be out trying to kill people too often. You could probably avoid quite a bit of problems with some of these dinosaurs. But I feel like some of these big guys that are just straight up hunting things down all the time trying to eat you, maybe the military intervenes really quickly and those get killed off fast, but I'm like, but they're not dead. It's a little unclear. I feel like there would be more deaths. And then in the movie, it's like, how many people are dying? Not very much. I do like that there's one guy, and he's like a bigger guy after the 2 bigger dinosaurs get released at the black market or underground, whatever this is. And he's trying to get away on the scooter, and he just gets eaten right there. I thought that was a pretty good kill. I thought it was funny because I'm like, it looked like he was a bigger guy, and he's like, I gotta rely on this, motorized scooter that get me to safety. But this thing is not going very fast. It's not doing you any good. And it failed him completely. And I thought, man, that'd be me.
And what I said last time, I think I said 4,000 pounds. We were talking about the compies in the other episode. And you could just roll over on them. I think I said 4,000. So you're gonna need a bigger scooter.
Yeah.
You just have a nice custom scooter.
Yeah, a really, really good one.
You can just get yourself a crane at that point, I guess. I will drive the crane.
Ah.
You might swing right into the dinosaur's mouth. It might be a little tragic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. I'll take the risk. I trust you.
You trust my crane operating skills?
Yeah, I do. But other than that, it's like nobody was dying. And I was like, I really wanted one of the original cast to die. That's what I wanted to see, to be honest. I also know that would make people sad or upset or mad. But I was like, you can kill these guys. You could kill Jeff Goldblum off if you wanted. It'd be fine.
He's got to have a kind of a slower death so that he can, like, sit there and be like, I want to be involved in this. See how stupid of an idea this was, guys? Or, you know.
There could have been something good with it. But they did. I'm just like, okay, they kill somebody. Dr. Boo, you could die. No, okay, we can't kill him because he has to kill off the horde, the swarm, the plague. And it's like, okay, shouldn't this guy be in jail at some point?
No, he's got enough power for people to protect him.
I guess.
And he makes a deal with the government. He says,
maybe that's it.
Look, the locust, that's a bad deal. And you want me to save that? I'm cleared and absolved of all charges of anything else.
At least that would have been something. I'd been like, all right.
Oh, I knew we were copping at the end. I definitely knew it.
And then these final shots are, okay, we gotta find coexistence. And it's like the horses are running with this thing, and I'm like, okay, I can believe that the herbivores might find other, like, life, and they might herd together. That's not completely unbelievable to me. But then you see the pterodons with the birds, like the
small birds.
Yeah, like seagull kind of birds. I don't know what they were. Pigeons, maybe. Whatever they were. And I'm like, I don't believe those things are getting along. These pterodons definitely eat those things.
I mean, I feel like the real problem is that, like, we make the locusts sound like they're the agricultural problem, but if you release a bunch of extra herbivores into the world, that's going to cause some real problems.
Yeah.
But we didn't really discuss that. We don't care. Because we don't care about anything.
Yeah, the ecosystem would be very different with dinosaurs added to it. Really changes things up. And then it's like, why is this taking... Like, this takes place in Italy, right? Where this facility is at.
Up in the mountains and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just like, Italy? I'm not saying, like, it's wrong. Italy clearly has some mountains and stuff. But it's just like, you chosen... We're in a foreign place, but it really just felt like we're in America still. It didn't feel like we moved location at all.
Well, he said he wanted the best and the brightest.
That does mean America, so...
I mean, that basically is synonymous for I brought Americans.
Yeah.
So, no, I agree. Like, it's a deal where he's claiming to, you know, be there for the betterment of the dinosaurs and taking anybody who really fits and qualifies, but there's no diversity in accent or look or anything.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, you just chose a college in America, and they're like, you kids, you want a job? Yeah, you do. All right. Yeah, it's just it's a weird one. Didn't really make a lot of sense. There's definitely a lot of, like, criticisms that can be aimed at this when you really get to the technical aspects, and that's completely fair. But you know, I still enjoyed it enough. I was having a good time.
At least one of us was.
Yeah. I looked over at you at one point, and you just looked like, I was like, are you falling asleep? Are you trying not to fall asleep? That was what I was really thinking.
I was so bored.
I really believed it.
I just did not want to deal. I just feel like it was so long. And then I always forget, because I always plan the time of the movie from the actual time that I paid for the ticket to start.
Oh, no, that's when the ads start.
And then I forget, because I don't see a lot of movies, that's where it starts. And so I'm already like, man, I've sat here for forever.
Mm-hmm.
This is annoying.
Plus, I always show up to the theater really early.
You always want to. Yeah.
So, I mean, when I go to the theater, I expect it to be there for, you know, a while, is what it is.
Mm-mm. It does not help me with the length of that film. And then I had to pee probably about halfway to 3/4 of the way through that film. And I was kind of like, this film is not interesting enough to sit through. But I do need to sit through this because I'm going to talk about it.
That's rough.
I was not having
That's the worst part about the theater experience. Is because I've been in a theater and it's like, we're 20 minutes in and I gotta pee. And it's like, all right, well, time to test this out. We're holding it in. Let's go.
I'm not going to hold it in. It's not that big of a deal, but it's just more annoyance on top of I'm not engaged.
Yeah, I think I've only ever had to leave the theater twice during a movie in my life. Once to go pee, because that was it. And then the second time, because I had to throw up. And then I went and threw up in the hallway entrance to the theater. So that was fun, but...
You threw up, not in like a garbage can, like on the floor.
No, it was on the floor.
Oh.
It got all over. This was like it's like whenever Narnia, the first Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe movie came out. It came out like on Christmas or something. And I think we saw it on my birthday or the day before or something. And so it's right around that time. And I'm making it through this movie just fine. And then in like the last 10 minutes, I'm like, I need to throw up. And I remember I was wearing my Seahawk sweater. I remember everything about this. And I got up like, I gotta go. And then I didn't make it. And I threw up all over myself and all over the floor to the entrance of this theater. Like, you have to go through the hallway to get to the door to get out. Right in the middle of that. And I was man. Oh my God. So then I had to go tell somebody. And I was like, hey, I just threw up. And it was kind of awkward because it's all over me. And they're like, oh my God.
That sounds like a truly horrendous experience, but it's a good story.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
Oh, I think I've only ever left the theater once to go pee, and I don't even remember what it was. I fell asleep in the theater a couple times.
I've never done it. Oh, no, I don't think I have done that.
I was really tired, and then we went and saw WALL-E. I very distinctly remember that, and I was awake for 10 minutes of WALL-E. And then I slept the rest of the way.
That's pretty good.
And I woke up and it was like, I don't know what's happening. I can't be out that long. And the credits started rolling not long after. And I was like, I know what happened in WALL-E.
That was a good movie, guys.
That was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, now we're just talking about anything. Do you have anything related to Jurassic World that you need to bring up here? You need to talk about?
How happy were you when the famous, amazing score came on? You were like, oh my God.
I groan every time.
You're like, why do I have to listen to this?
People act like it's the greatest thing that's ever been composed, and I don't get it.
Well, I mean, it's not Lord of the Rings, but it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. That's how happy I was.
They don't use it super frequently, though.
The Jurassic World trilogy, a lot better with it.
Yeah.
The music in these films is serviceable.
Yeah, that's what I'd say.
It's not offensive. It's not great. There's no points where I go, wow, I was really engaged and the music was a part of that. And there's no points where I was like, man, this suffered because your music sucked.
Well, it could be worse.
I guess the important thing that we should probably talk about is how quality the dinosaurs are in this.
Visually?
Yeah.
Okay. They're inconsistent. And I'm not saying that as in Jurassic World and then Dominion, which is separated by 7 years or whatever, should necessarily look the same. I'm just saying within their own films, some things look better than others. I think that's very noticeable, particularly in Jurassic World. I think the raptors sometimes look weird.
Oh, that's fair. A lot of it is not fully consistent. The herbivores generally do not look very good. But I don't feel like any of it looks bad.
None of it's bad.
There's just noticeable quality dips, I feel like.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's like a frame rate dip, basically.
You could... yeah.
Well, it's a bit like it.
Yeah, it is similar. It feels like, all right, this is the money shot, right? Put all your money into this CGI in this scene. All right, I get it. The T-Rex is showing up here. The T-Rex needs to look pretty decent. Fair enough. That's an important dinosaur for our franchise. I understand. But it'd be nice if it was a bit more consistent. This is a big budget movie. I feel like you could do that. Especially after the first Jurassic World money. You made a lot of money on this. You can put that back into the second film and make it look pretty good.
No.
Now, I'll say the Indoraptor looks pretty good. I like the look of it. I like the design of it. But, again, it's like the dinosaurs on the island. It's like, some of them look good and some of them are Okay. And then Dominion. I don't know what the dinosaur is, but it's the one that's got like the big one with the claws, and I think it's blind, I'm guessing. That thing was kind of cool. I don't know that it... That one, I don't know that... I feel like the claws looked a little off to me, but I like the design of it.
They looked like they got longer as the film went on. They looked way longer in that final scene than they did at the other scenes. To me. Maybe I'm just imagining it.
Yeah, I tried to say.
I thought that was a weird looking thing. It looked like it was just kind of a creepy, weird thing. But not like creepy in like a... It's a dinosaur, so it should be a little creepy. Just kind of like creepy in a weird...
Like, what the fuck is that?
What is happening? I'm not engaged in this.
I think... I kind of like it because it makes me think that... Like, I kind of imagine that might actually have been what a dinosaur looked like based on a lot of what we, speculate on now. I don't know. I just thought that's a cool design. I liked it. It was kind of cool when the Allosaurus, whatever the hell, got like impaled on it. And I was like, well, that sucks for you, buddy.
I feel like that was really because the T-Rex had to live.
Oh, well, that I didn't like. I thought, are we killing this thing off? I really wanted them to kill the T-Rex off because people complain about the T-Rex dying in 3 so much. And I'm like, kill it off again. Because it's a stupid complaint. It's a T-Rex. It dying is not the end of the world.
I feel like that's why it lived, though.
It probably lived because people complained. And that's why I kind of dislike it living.
How petty you are.
Yeah, it's a little petty. But I thought you could kill this thing off. It's fine. This is an old dinosaur at this point.
No.
So, it's fine. Kill it off. Did you think the dinosaurs look good in these films?
They're fine. I'm not really gonna care about most of them.
I do think the Mosasaur, which is the water one, looked pretty good.
Pretty blurry most of the time.
Yeah, that probably helps. But I like the shots where it like comes out. It does it in the second 2 films, right? Both times it opens up with this thing being a menace. But it looks pretty cool doing that. I think those are good shots. In the Fallen Kingdom, that guy gets screwed there at the end. They're like, oh, you made it. You didn't count on me.
It's very tragic. I was
really hurting for these mercenary guys that are probably breaking a lot of laws right now. But I do like that Dominion scene. There's so more diversity for the dinosaurs. But I say that and I'm like, I don't know, they also just had a lot of the original ones too. So I guess it's not that diverse.
I don't know. I don't really remember what's in what film. Besides, like, there's always raptors. There's always a T-Rex. Without fail. And it's just like, can we move on? Can we just have some, like, random nonsense just be the bad dinosaur? And you kind of did that in Dominion. But it wasn't really a massive threat to anybody until the very end. And then it promptly ends.
Yeah.
And the T-Rex is still the coolest thing.
Yeah, it's the king. Tyrant King.
Remade the logo with its head as it went through the courtyard.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool.
I've always thought that the logo for the Jurassic Park brand is pretty cool, though.
Fine.
That's a good logo. That's one of those things where you don't even need words. You can just put the logo. People are like, oh, that's Jurassic Park.
Yeah, because too many people think, the Jurassic movies in general are good.
Jurassic Park is a really revolutionary movie. It's pretty important for film going forward from its point. That movie almost made $1 billion in '93 too. Like, that's pretty impressive.
That doesn't mean it doesn't suck.
Well, I'd be interested to see how many people actually think that movie sucks.
Me?
Yeah, you and
And my opinion counts for 112%.
That doesn't even make sense, Nisha. I thought you were good at math.
That's the whole point.
I thought you were the one good at math.
I mean, that means everybody else's opinions count for negative.
Well, that hurts my feelings a little bit.
It doesn't. In the slightest.
That's true.
I've said so much worse things. I said that you weighed 4,000 pounds. Twice now.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me. Whatever.
So, you got any other tidbits you need to throw in here? In the Jurassic World discussion over here? Things that you need to ask, need my opinions on.
No, I think we better wrap it up before we get too out of hand.
Out of hand, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know that it's out of hand, but...
I mean, we could make it weird if you need to.
We have made some things a little questionable and weird sometimes.
Okay.
But it's been a nice pleasure being right, telling people how much these films suck. But really, it's about the people's pleasure. And they probably like this film, but I don't know that, which is why I need you guys to have at us. I need you to tell me your likes, your dislikes. You watched all these Jurassic World films, or were you intelligent enough to be like, nah, it's not even worth my time. But you like, you comment, you subscribe, you leave suggestions, share this. Our social media links are in the description.
And there's, of course, one more thing. I really need you to do this one. It's very easy. You open up a theme park. I'll be nice enough to let you choose the theme. I don't really care. But it needs to be in our name. And it's very important that we take no liability in all events that happen. But we will take credit for all good things.
Yeah, if someone dies or gets injured at your park, this wasn't our idea anymore.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
It was definitely solely your idea. There's no proof that we said anything to encourage you to do this. But while things are going good, you feel free to give us that publicity, maybe share some profits our way. We will take a sizable donation to our cause.
I expect this to be profitable.
All right. Now, let's hear it.
I'm going to give the first Jurassic World movie an 8 out of 10.
It is a 6.5 out of 10. Brings us to Fallen Kingdom. And that's a 4 out of 10.
I'll give Fallen Kingdom a 6.5. I will also give Dominion a 6.5.
Dominion also earns a 4 out of 10.
I would say, overall, as a trilogy, there's a lot of problems. But I'm going to say, as a trilogy, it's like a 7. I get enough out of it.
As a trilogy, this is a generous 4.5 out of 10.
Have at us.